Good evening. My name is Scott Dirksen. I'm the municipal judge for the city of Stoughton and the towns of Dunkirk, Pleasant Springs, and Rutland. The city of Stoughton will appear in all matters this evening by Attorney Kieran O'Day. Before I begin calling cases, I want to go over some of the procedures we'll follow this evening and some of your rights as defendants. These procedures are also set forth on the form that was made available as you entered the courtroom. First, please turn off your cell phones. Second, this hearing is for initial appearances on the citations you received. This is not the time for a trial or telling me your side of what happened. When your case is called, please come up to the podium in front here and remember to speak clearly. These proceedings are being recorded, so you need to answer questions verbally and not by nodding or shaking your head. Tonight, I'll ask you to enter a plea to the citation you were issued. Your plea options are guilty, not guilty, or no contest. A plea of guilty means you admit you did whatever it is you're charged with. A plea of not guilty means you want to contest the charges against you. And a plea of no contest means that while you do not admit doing anything unlawful, you do not wish to contest the matter. In many cases, Mr. O'Day will be in a position to make you an offer to resolve your case right here tonight. If you do arrive at such an agreement, you should enter a plea of guilty or no contest. Either way, guilty or no contest, I must find you guilty. I will then review the facts of your case to determine whether there is a factual basis for accepting your plea, and will give you an opportunity, if you wish, to tell me anything you feel is relevant to my decision. I will then decide what the sentence in your case should be. Excuse me. In almost all cases, I'll order you to pay a forfeiture, which is a money penalty, like a fine. It may be anywhere from $20,000 to $10,000, though the vast majority will be in the range of $50,000 to $200,000. I am also required to impose court costs, which will increase the total amount you must pay. I'll automatically give you 30 days to pay your forfeiture, but if you think you're going to need more time than that, please let me know right away, and we'll set up a payment plan. Failure to timely pay your forfeiture can result in suspension of your driver's license or referral of the matter for debt collection. If you plead not guilty to the charges against you, I'll schedule your case for a pretrial conference over the phone with the city attorney. At that time, you can discuss your case with him and see if the matter can be resolved without a trial. If it cannot be resolved, I'll schedule the matter for trial. You do have the right to have an attorney represent you in your case, but you must hire that attorney on your own. The State Public Defender's Office will not represent you. You also have the right to ask me for a continuance of your case if you need to consult with an attorney or for some other reason. If you are charged with operating while intoxicated or some related offense, you have the right to a jury trial in circuit court in Madison. However, you must post jury fees within 10 days of the date you enter that plea. Trials on all other offenses will be heard by me, and you have the right to appeal any decision I make in your case. Those of you who are charged with a traffic offense should bear in mind that in addition to having to pay a forfeiture if you're found guilty, the Division of Motor Vehicles may impose demerit points against your license. If 12 or more points are assessed against your license in any 12-month period, your driving privileges will be suspended for a period of time. And if you hold a probationary license, those points may be doubled. Finally, if your address changes at any time while your case is pending, you must notify the court in writing within 5 days of such a change. Do we have an interpreter lined up? All right.
Hello? Language line?
Yes, ma'am, I'm here.
Perfect, thank you.
All right, and who's the defendant?
Number 4, LeBron, I believe is the name.
Okay. The first case I'll call is City versus Davila LeBron. Please come up to the podium. and I'll swear the interpreter first. Do you solemnly, first, can you raise your right hand, interpreter?
It's up.
Okay. Do you solemnly, sincerely, and truly declare and affirm, whoops, wrong oath. Give me a second here. Okay. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that you will interpret truly, accurately, completely, and impartially, follow all court guidelines for interpreting, and discharge all the duties of an official court interpreter? And in doing so, do you solemnly swear that you will well and truly interpret the questions and answers between the court and counsel, in this case, from English into Spanish and from Spanish into English, to the best of your abilities?
I swear.
All right. Interpreter, I have the defendant, Ismael Lebron Davila, in court in front of me. And I would appreciate it if first, sir, whoops. It's under L?
Yes.
Okay. Mr. LeBron Davila, do you still live on Primrose Lane in Janesville? Interpreter?
Señor Davila Lebron, ¿aún vive usted en el... may I get a repetition of the name of the street, sorry,
Sure.
Judge?
Primrose Lane in Janesville.
¿Aún vive usted en Primrose Lane in Janesville? Yes. Yes.
All right. Sir, you are charged, first of all, with operating a motor vehicle while under the influence of an intoxicant.
Señor, está recibiendo usted el cargo de operar un vehículo mientras estaba bajo la influencia de un intoxicante.
Do you understand the nature of that charge?
¿Comprende usted la naturalidad de ese cargo?
Sí.
Yes.
You are also charged with operating a motor vehicle with a prohibited blood alcohol concentration, specifically that you had a blood alcohol concentration of 0.14.
Al igual está usted recibiendo el cargo de operar un vehículo con un concentrado de alcohol, específicamente un concentrado en la sangre de alcohol de 0.14.
Do you understand the nature of that charge?
Sí.
¿Comprende usted la naturalidad de ese cargo?
And sir, I want you, if at any point you do not understand something that I'm trying to talk to you about, will you please tell me that?
Y señor, si en algún momento usted no comprende algo de lo que le estoy mencionando, ¿podría usted hacérmelo saber?
Sí.
Okay. Sir, I'm going to assume you didn't understand everything that I talked about at the beginning of court. One thing I need to tell you is that you have the right to a jury trial in this case, but if you want a jury trial, you have to post jury fees within 10 days of the date you enter a plea, and that trial will be heard in circuit court in Madison. It will not be heard by me.
Asumo que no comprendió lo que estaba mencionando al inicio en la corte. Hay algo que quiero que usted sepa, que tiene usted el derecho a juicio con jurado. Si desea usted el juicio con jurado, debe usted pagar la tarifa del juicio con jurado 10 días antes, y sería en el condado de Madison, no sería conmigo.
Do you understand that?
¿Comprende usted eso?
No.
Okay. What don't you understand?
¿Qué es lo que no comprende?
Si tengo que ir a Madison o lo hacen aquí.
Do I need to go to Madison, or is it going to be here?
Okay. If you do not want a jury trial, if you only want your case heard by me, then the trial would be here in Stoughton, just in front of me.
Si usted no desea el juicio con jurado, entonces sería escuchado por mí, estaría llevándose a cabo el juicio conmigo.
But if you want to have your case heard by a jury, then that will happen in the circuit court in Madison. But you have to pay a jury fee in order to get a jury. Do you understand that?
Pero si usted desea que su caso sea escuchado por el jurado, entonces sería en la corte circuital de Madison, pero necesitaría usted pagar la tarifa para tener al jurado ahí. ¿Comprende usted?
Sí.
Okay.
Yes.
Mr. O'Day, unless you object and unless the defendant objects, I'm going to enter a plea of not guilty on his behalf so that you can discuss the matter in a pre-trial conference.
That's fine. No objection.
Señor O'Day, a lo menos que tenga una objeción o que el demandado tenga una objeción, estaré ingresando una declaración de no culpabilidad para que puedan hablar sobre el tema en una audiencia prejuicio.
Podría ser aquí, ¿no?
It could be here, right?
No, the pre-trial conference will be over the telephone with Mr. O'Day.
La conferencia del prejuicio sería a través del teléfono con el abogado O'Day.
And we'll have an interpreter available for you.
Y habrá un intérprete disponible para usted.
Sí.
Okay? Do we have a notice for him?
Sure. He paid the citation too, just so you're aware.
Which citation?
The OWI.
Oh, okay, that's fine. Sir, I see that you've already paid the forfeiture for the citation. We'll hold on to that for now. It may be that you don't pay anything, it may be that you pay more, it may be you pay less, but unless you object, we'll just hold on to that money for the time being, okay?
Y señor, veo que usted ya pagó la cantidad de la multa, por lo cual lo estaremos reteniendo eso por el momento, debido a que quizás no necesite pagar nada, quizás necesite pagar más, o quizás sea menos, pero por el momento lo estaremos reteniendo, a lo menos que usted tenga una objeción.
No.
Okay, good. Sir, we're giving you the English version of your notice for the pretrial conference. We will mail you a copy that's translated into Spanish as well. And that'll be sent to the address on the citation.
Y señor, le estaremos dando una notificación en inglés y posteriormente se estará enviando la versión interpretada al español a su dirección que se encuentra en el citatorio.
Is that okay?
Sí.
¿Está bien con usted?
And that pretrial conference will be on June 18th
3 p.m.
at 3 p.m. And again, that's by telephone.
Y la conferencia del prejuicio sería el 18 de junio a las 3 de la tarde y nuevamente es a través del teléfono.
Is that a time that will work for you?
Yeah.
Okay.
¿Es una hora que funcione para usted?
No, trabajo en esa hora.
No, I'm working at that time.
Okay. What time works better?
¿A qué hora funciona mejor para usted?
Después de las 4.
After 4.
Is that okay?
4:20.
4:20?
¿A las 4:20?
Sí.
Okay, I'll mail that.
Yes.
Okay. And again, we'll mail you notice in Spanish of that date and time.
Y nuevamente le estaremos enviando por correo postal la notificación de esa hora y fecha.
Do you have any questions?
¿Tiene alguna pregunta?
Sí.
Yes.
What's your question?
¿Cuál es la pregunta?
Aún podría conducir porque uso el carro diario al trabajo.
Can I see your drive? I use the vehicle to go to work daily.
I have a Spanish occupational
Yeah.
license.
Mr. Bailiff, can you hand this to him? At this point, no, you cannot, but we're going to give you information on how you can get an occupational license.
En este punto no puede, pero le estaremos dando la información de cómo puede obtener una licencia de ocupacional.
But as of right now, your driving privileges are suspended.
Pero en este momento sus privilegios de conducir están suspendidos.
Okay? So please don't drive.
Por favor, no conduzca.
Pero uno podría conseguir una licencia, ¿cómo se llama? No me sé el nombre.
He didn't finish his question. May I ask him again?
I don't understand.
He didn't finish his question. May I ask him again? But
Yes,
he was
please.
going to ask.
Please.
Thank you. ¿Me puede usted completar la pregunta?
Sí, es que yo, ¿cómo podría conducir al trabajo si no tengo, necesitaría una licencia provisional o con privilegio?
And how could I drive to work? Could I get a professional license? Or with benefits?
We've just given you information on how to go about trying to get an occupational license, but you have to do that with the Division of Motor Vehicles. Until you do that, you can't drive any vehicle.
Le acabamos de dar la información de cómo intentar obtener una licencia ocupacional, la cual debe usted ir a la distribuidora automotriz, pero mientras no haga eso, no podrá manejar ningún vehículo.
Okay. Sí,
Do you understand?
sí.
¿Comprende usted?
Okay. Mr. O'Day, anything further from the city?
No, Your Honor.
Interpreter?
Señor, ¿ve algo más para la ciudad? No.
Okay. Then, Mr. LeBron Davila, unless you have any other questions, we're done for tonight.
Señor Lebron Dávila, a lo menos que tenga usted alguna otra pregunta, hemos terminado por la noche.
No.
Okay.
No.
Have a good evening.
Que tenga buena tarde.
Gracias, igual.
Thank you.
Thank you, interpreter.
You're welcome. Thank you for your signal services. Bye-bye.
Klingerman, he was number
Okay. Thank you. What's going on here? All right, then. For Pete's sake.
just have to click on it and then it'll take you, but you can close that. I don't know why that's showing up now. Okay.
All right. Why can't I scroll up? Oh, it's in reverse order now. Whatever, I'll figure it out. City versus Daniel Klingeman.
Yes, Your Honor.
Sir, do you still live on Riverside Drive in Edgerton?
I do.
And sir, you are charged with non-registration of an automobile. Do you have the vehicle properly registered now?
I do, sir. It was just, oh, I'm sorry. Yes, I do.
That's okay. Can you show that to the city attorney, please?
It's up to date.
It's up to date?
Yep, it's
Okay,
registered.
does the city have a motion?
Yeah, we'll move to dismiss.
Do you have any objection to me
I do not, Your Honor.
dismissing? Okay,
And thank you.
you're welcome.
Have a good-
It's
oh.
dismissed. Hang on, we'll give
I'm
you a
sorry.
copy of the judgment.
Appreciate it.
You want to hang on to that just in case something gets screwed up.
I was going to
somewhere.
claim Norwegianism, but thank you very much. I appreciate it.
All right, thank you. City versus Fisher. Whoops. Are you Cameron Fisher?
Yes, Your Honor.
Last name spelled Fischer?
Yes, Your Honor.
And you are charged with speeding on a public highway, specifically that you were traveling 99 miles per hour in a 55 mile per hour zone. Do you understand the nature of the charge against you?
Yes, Your Honor.
Is the city inclined to make an offer to resolve this case?
The city asked for a pretrial, Your Honor.
Okay. I'll just tell both parties that unless I hear a really compelling reason for any amendment of this charge, I'm disinclined towards one. But we'll give you a pretrial conference. That'll be June 18th at
3 p.m.?
3 p.m. Does that work for you?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, hang on, we'll give that to you in writing along with Mr. O'Day's phone number.
Thank you.
Any questions about anything?
I don't think so.
All right, thank you then, you're free to go.
Thank you.
City versus Libby, Allison Libby. All right, are you Ms. Libby?
I am.
Do you, first name is spelled Alison?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Do you still live on Patchen Road in Partyville?
I do.
Ma'am, you're charged with failure to stop at a stop sign. Do you
Oh.
understand the nature of that charge?
Is it failure to yield after stopping?
I'm sorry, yes, you're
Okay,
right.
I just
Failure
wanna
to
make sure.
yield right of way from a stop sign.
Yes, I understand.
Does the city have an offer?
Not at this time, Your Honor.
Okay. Ma'am, unless you object, what I would do is enter a plea of not guilty on your behalf so that you can call the city attorney and see if you can work this matter out short of trial.
That was also my plan.
Okay, very good.
Thank you.
Then I will enter a plea of not guilty on your behalf, and hang on a minute, and we'll give you notice of the pretrial conference in writing. Again, that'll be over the phone, and that'll be on June 18th at
3:10?
3:10 p.m.
Okay, that's
That works?
what day of the week is the 18th?
That'll be a Wednesday.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay, great. Any questions about anything?
No, thank you. Your
Okay,
Honor.
have a good evening then. City versus Murray. You're Aubrey Murray.
Yes, Your Honor.
Last name is spelled M-U-R-R-A-Y.
Yes.
Do you still live on County Road A in Stoughton?
Yes.
Ma'am, you're charged with speeding on a public highway, specifically 16 miles per hour over the posted limit of 25 miles per hour. Do you understand the nature of that charge?
Yes, Your Honor.
Does the city have an offer?
The city will offer 1 to 10 miles an hour over the 3-point.
That would be 1 to 9 over then.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. 3 points and 98.80.
Ma'am, do you understand the nature of the city's offer?
Yes.
They're willing to amend this from a 4-point violation to a 3-point for $98.80.
Yes, Your Honor.
Is that what you want to do?
Yes, Your Honor.
Then how do you plead?
No contest.
All right. I do find a factual basis for your plea. I will find you guilty of the amended citation, and I'll impose a forfeiture and costs totaling $98.80. Do you need more than 30 days to pay that?
No, Your Honor.
You're sure?
Yes.
Okay.
What was her plea?
No contest. Then hang on, we'll give you a copy of the judgment, and that'll give you directions on how to pay your forfeiture.
Okay.
Any questions?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, have a good evening then.
You too.
Thank you. City versus Mason Margie. Did I say your name right, sir?
It's Margie.
Margie?
But it's, anything's fine.
No. I want to get it right. Sir, you are charged with underage drinking. Do you understand the nature of the charge?
Yes, Your Honor.
Does the city have an offer? Oh, I'm sorry, let me back up. Do you still live on Meanderwood Road in Oregon?
Yes, Your Honor.
And last name is Marggi.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, sorry, does the city have an offer?
Yes, Your Honor. The city will offer a successful completion of the alcohol and other drug assessment within 90 days, and if so completed, reduce the fine to 0.
Okay. Do you understand the nature of the city's offer?
Yes, Your Honor.
If you plead guilty or no contest tonight, I'll find you guilty, but I will withhold sentencing for 90 days. And if during those 90 days you undergo an alcohol and other drug assessment and comply with any treatment that may be recommended as a result of that assessment, and furnish the city with written proof that you've done that, then when I call the case next, I will impose no penalty. The conviction will stand, but there will be no penalty. You understand?
Not really, Your Honor.
Okay, what don't you understand?
If I file for not guilty, then what happens?
If you plead not guilty, then we'll set this matter on for a pretrial conference to see if it can be resolved. If it cannot be resolved, then I'll set it on for trial.
I want whatever offer that was right there.
Okay. We'll give you information on how to do an alcohol and other drug assessment.
Yes.
So, first, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest.
Okay? I do find a factual basis for your plea, and I will find you guilty, but I will withhold sentence for 90 days. We'll recall this matter 90 days from now. And that'll be
August 20th,
August 20th at 6 o'clock.
but if he provides.
And if you provide written proof to the city by then that you've completed the assessment and any treatment that's recommended, then when your case is next called, I will impose no penalty.
Okay.
we'll give you a copy of the judgment as well. Any questions about anything?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
Okay, very good, thank you. Whoops. City versus Kinsey. You're Ms. Kinsey?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ma'am, you're charged with operating a motor vehicle without insurance. Have you gotten insurance?
Yes, Your Honor.
I'm sorry, first of all, do you understand the nature of the charge?
Yes.
And you have, since the date of offense, gotten auto insurance?
Yes.
Can you show proof of that to the city attorney, please?
Yes.
Motion from the city?
Yep, the city moves to dismiss.
Any objection?
No.
All right, then it's dismissed. Hang on, we'll give you a copy of the judgment of dismissal. You want that just in case there's confusion somewhere. All right, thank you.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Thank you, you too. City versus Frederickson.
Hi.
Are you Mr. Frederickson?
Yes.
Sir, is your last name spelled Fredrickson?
Correct.
And you still live on Sand Hill Road in Oregon?
Yes.
All right, you're charged with operating a motor vehicle with excessive window tinting. Do you understand the nature of the charge?
Yes.
Does the city have an offer?
Not at this time, Your Honor.
The city is unwilling to extend an offer to resolve the case tonight. How do you plead tonight?
Not guilty, but I have a doctor's note saying my fiance can have tinted windows.
Okay. Then I will accept your plea of not guilty. I'll set this on for a pretrial conference on June 18th at...
I'll be out of town on June 18th, actually.
Well, this will be by phone.
I'll be in Canada.
Okay. When would the next date be that we could give him?
July 16th,
July 16th?
That works.
Do we have a time?
3:40.
3:40, does that
Yeah,
work?
that's fine, whatever.
Okay. If you have some kind of documentation that you think the city attorney
I can
should
show it
look...
to him real quick.
Hang on, let me finish speaking. We take turns. This is a courtroom.
Oh.
If you have any documentation that you think the city attorney might need to look at to discuss your case with you, I would suggest emailing it to him beforehand, okay?
Okay, yes.
Any questions about anything?
No, I'm fine.
Okay, thank you. City versus Hintz. Ma'am, you're Erin Hintz,
I am, yes.
and last name is spelled Hintz.
Correct.
You still live on McKinley in Stoughton,
Yes.
Ma'am, you're charged with failure to stop for a school bus. Do you understand the nature of that charge?
Yes.
Does the city have an offer for the defendant?
Not at this time, Your Honor.
So, Ms. Hintz, if you were to plead guilty or no contest tonight, in all likelihood, I would impose a forfeiture and costs totaling $600. On the other hand, if you want to have an opportunity to discuss your case with the city attorney,
Okay.
then you should enter a plea of not guilty, and I'll schedule the matter for a pretrial conference over the phone with him to see if you can get the case resolved.
Okay. And would that impact points at all, possibly? Because that's
It depends. It
Okay.
depends on it depends on what kind of agreement you can arrive at, if
Sure.
any.
okay.
I don't know what he's going to
Okay,
offer, and I
sure.
don't know what the facts of the case are. That would be something to talk about with him.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So that'll be June 18th at
3:20.
3:20. Does that work?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yes.
Hang on, and we'll give you notice of that in writing along with Mr. O'Day's phone number.
Perfect. Thank you.
Any questions? Okay, thank you. City versus Hunter Wiest. Did I say that correctly, sir?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. There you are. Mr. Wiest, is your last name spelled W-I-E-S-T?
That's correct, Your Honor.
And you still live on Skyridge Court in Stoughton?
Yes, Your Honor.
Sir, you're charged with speeding on a public highway, specifically that you were going 40 miles per hour in a 15-mile-per-hour zone. Do you understand the nature of that charge?
I thought it was a 25.
I'm sorry, I thought I said 40 miles per hour in a 25-mile-per-hour zone.
Yeah, that sounds correct to me.
So 15 over.
Hmm.
Okay. Does the city have an offer for the defendant?
Not at this time, Your Honor.
So, Mr. Wiest, your choices tonight are, if you plead guilty or no contest tonight, in all likelihood, I would find you guilty and impose a forfeiture of $98.80, and the Division of Motor Vehicles would assess 4 points against your driver's license. On the other hand, if you plead not guilty tonight, I'll schedule this for a pretrial conference with Mr. O'Day over the phone, and you can see if you can try to work out an agreement short of trial with him. Do you understand your options here?
So there's no chance of getting any points back or taking a driving school?
Not tonight.
Okay.
You may be able to work that out with him when you talk to him over the phone.
And that's if I plead not guilty?
Correct.
Okay. I'll plead not guilty.
Okay? I'll accept that plea, and we'll schedule this matter for a telephone pretrial conference on June 18th at
3:30.
3:30.
June 18th at 3:30, so
Right.
yeah, that's fine.
That works?
Yeah.
Okay. Hang on, and we'll give that to you in writing.
I do have a question.
Sure.
I'm not allowed to drive during that period of time, or I am allowed to drive during that period of time?
Unless you've got a suspension of some sort that I don't know about, you should be able to drive. Can
Okay.
you look at his driving record?
I'll check.
Yeah. As of right now, you're not guilty of this offense, so the citation shouldn't affect your driving privileges
Okay.
right now.
Thank you.
Well, just hang on, we'll let the city attorney see if you're valid.
I don't see a suspension, Your Honor.
Okay, so you should be able to drive unless there's something that we don't know about that you might.
So I just called this number on June 18th at 3:30, you said?
Whatever the time was.
Yeah.
Okay, right.
Okay.
And you'll be talking to Mr. O'Day then.
Okay, thank you. Have
All
a
right.
good night. Appreciate it.
Thank you. State versus Danny Smith. Are you Ms. Smith?
Yes, sir.
Last name M-I-T-H, S-M-I-T-H.
Yes.
First name D-A-N-I.
Yes.
Do you still live on Broadway in Sun Prairie?
Yes.
Ma'am, you're charged with possession or drinking of alcohol under the age of 21. Do you understand the nature of the charge?
Yes, I do.
And Mr. O'Day, does the city have an offer for the defendant tonight?
Yes, Your Honor, the city will give the defendant 90 days to complete an alcohol and other drug assessment, and if it's successfully completed, we would ask the fine to be reduced to 0.
So, what they're offering you is if you plead guilty or no contest tonight, I'll find you guilty, but I will withhold sentencing for 90 days. During that 90 days, if you complete an alcohol and other drug assessment and comply with all treatment that may be recommended as a result of that assessment, and provide written proof of that to Mr. O'Day, then when your case is next called, I will impose no penalty. The conviction will stand, but there will be no penalty. Do you understand the nature of the offer?
Yes.
And how would you like to proceed then?
I'd like to plead no contest.
Okay? I do find a factual basis for your plea. I'll find you guilty, but I will withhold sentence for 90 days, and we'll give you a copy of the judgment and information on how to do an alcohol and other drug assessment.
Okay. Thank you.
Just sit tight. You're welcome.
Thank you.
Okay, any questions?
No.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah,
You have a
night.
good evening then.
Thank you.
State versus Pigram? Pigram? Sorry.
Just for the record, you said state.
Did I say state? I meant city. Old habits. Sorry about that. All right. Ma'am, is your first name spelled M-A-R-I-A-H?
Yes.
Last name P-I-G-R-A-M?
Yes.
Do you still live on Court Street in Oshkosh?
No.
What's your new address, ma'am?
1712 Taft Avenue in Oshkosh, Wisconsin.
1712
1712 Taft. Can you
Yeah.
spell Taft, please?
T-A-F-T
Ah, okay.
Street.
Avenue.
And what's the zip?
it's the same zip code. 549.
54901?
02, sorry.
54902?
Yeah.
Got it. Thank you. Ma'am, you're charged with speeding on a public highway, specifically that you were driving 46 miles per hour in a 25 mile per hour zone. Do you understand the nature of the charge?
Yes.
And Mr. O'Day, does the city have an offer for the defendant?
Not at this time.
Okay. So, ma'am, your choices are, if you were to plead guilty or no contest tonight, in all likelihood, I would find you guilty and impose a forfeiture of $149.20. The Division of Motor Vehicles would assess 6 points against your driver's license. On the other hand, if you want an opportunity to talk to Mr. O'Day about the case and see if you can arrive at some sort of an agreement short of trial, I would give you time to do that. And if you want to do that, then you should plead not guilty. So how do you want to proceed tonight?
Not guilty.
All right, I'll accept your plea of not guilty. We'll schedule the matter for a telephone pretrial conference on June 18th at
3:40.
3:40 in the afternoon.
Is there possibly an earlier time that day?
I don't know if we can do earlier.
No, well, unless he would be available.
Mr. O'Day, what do you have? June 18.
I'm free earlier.
Okay. Can you give us a time that would work for you?
When works
Could
for
I
you?
do like 2?
That's fine. 2 is fine.
2 o'clock?
Yep.
Okay, great. That's what we'll do then. Just hang on, we'll give you written notice of that.
Okay.
Any questions, ma'am?
No. No.
Okay, you have a good evening then.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Thank you.
And there was one more Myers,
Myers?
M-Y.
City versus James Myers.
Hi there.
Hi. Sir, you're James Myers.
Yes, sir.
Last name M-Y-E-R-S.
That's correct.
Do you still live on Echo Valley Road in Brooklyn?
Yes, I do.
Okay. You are charged with speeding by 16 miles per hour over the posted limit, specifically 41 miles per hour in a 25 mile per hour zone. Do you understand the nature of the charge against you?
Yes, sir.
Does the city have an offer?
Not at this time, Your Honor.
So, sir, your options then tonight are if you enter a plea of guilty or no contest, in all likelihood I would find you guilty and impose a forfeiture of $124 inclusive of costs. Division of Motor Vehicles would assess 4 points against your driver's license. On the other hand, if you want an opportunity to see if you can resolve this case short of trial with the city attorney, then you should enter a plea of not guilty, and I'll schedule the matter for a telephone pretrial conference on June 18th. How would you like to proceed?
Not guilty.
All right, I'll accept your plea of not guilty. I'll continue this to June 18th at 3:40 for a phone conference. Does that work for you, sir?
Yes, sir.
Okay, hang on and we'll give that to you in writing. Any questions?
No, sir.
All right, you have a good evening then.
Thanks. You guys have a good night as well.
Thank you. City versus Christopher Backen, what happened with that?
He sent an online plea.
Okay.
I just didn't get it.
That's fine. So Mr. Backen apparently pled not guilty and it was scheduled for a pretrial conference. With all other matters that I have not called and where there has not been an appearance, I'll find the defendants guilty by default and impose judgment in the amounts shown on the deposit section of the citations that were issued.
For the underage drinking, they were all mandatory appearances. We will not be suspending their license since they did not oppose that.
Yeah, which ones are those?
There's 7 of them. I don't have them separated.
Okay, hang on.
BUE
Then,
should pay, but some of them did pay.
right, in addition, in City versus Buell, B-U-E-L-L, that was a mandatory appearance. I'll impose a 30-day suspension of driving privileges. In City versus Cox, that was also a mandatory appearance, underage drinking. In addition to the forfeiture that's been ordered, I'll order a 30-day suspension of driving privileges. in City versus McPhee, MCPHEE, another underage drinking ticket. That was a mandatory appearance. In addition to the forfeiture I've just ordered, I'll order a 30-day suspension of driving privileges. City versus Tyler Peterson, SEN. That also was an underage drinking citation with a mandatory appearance. In addition to the forfeiture that I've ordered, I will also order a 30-day suspension of driving privileges. City versus Schutte, SCHUTTE, another underage drinking. That was a mandatory appearance. In addition to the forfeiture that I've ordered, I'm also ordering a 30-day suspension of driving privileges. Anything further from the city?
No, Your Honor.
All right. For the 6 o'clocks,
I have an update on, I've added an additional one.
okay?
City attorney has a copy of this motion to reopen, explanation.
City versus Valentina, motion to reopen. Mr. O'Day, do you have a copy of the motion?
I do, Your Honor.
What's the city's position? When was the initial appearance date?
That's
Ooh,
it.
December of
Yeah, I
'24.
know, that's what I said, but she's very desperate to get her license.
can just take a
and
seat.
I was working with this interpreter, and so
Okay.
she's trying really hard. They initially thought it was at Dane County, and we're working with
Yeah,
them,
yeah.
and they were going to do it for him, and then found out, no, it's actually Stoughton.
Okay.
Dane County set us up.
Your Honor, the city doesn't have an objection to reopening.
Okay, then I'll grant the motion.
Looks like this is Mr. Rich. I didn't think he was going to.
That's okay.
He paid the ticket. when
Do I
we
have his
talked
file?
Yesterday. You gave him, I believe, 60 days to
Okay.
get insurance. And
Sir, are you Mr. Rich? I am. Come on up to the podium, please. That's all right.
But he did pay the ticket, just so you're.
Okay. Mr. O'Day, do you have a copy of the file here? City versus David Rich?
I believe I do.
I don't.
Oh,
No,
I'm
he
sorry.
wasn't, talked on the phone yesterday.
Okay.
He wasn't supposed to come. He changed his mind, so I didn't make a copy.
So, okay, what did I do with this?
What did I say? I didn't put it on there. You gave him 60 days.
To get a
To get
license?
insurance, no.
To get insurance?
He
Okay.
has, I guess, so many different cars that he can't
Oh, yeah, right.
get insurance.
You don't have the citation.
I can bring that up here if you would like.
Well, if he's got more than one vehicle, it's a matter of, well, so he's charged with operating without insurance at all or insurance on person?
It says operate motor vehicle without insurance.
Okay. Mr. O'Day, does he have proof of insurance now?
Do you have proof of insurance?
No,
I don't have any.
I paid the fine.
Okay,
That's, you must have misunderstood.
okay. Well, you don't have to be here.
I know, but it's important that, I guess I'm not prepared, but anyway, I called, they said that it, oh, excuse me, bear
It's
with
okay.
me.
It's all right. Take your time.
Yeah, too many thoughts going through my mind. At this point, I did call Tricor Insurance out of Evansville. I wanted to get insurance on myself because if there is a way we can get insurance on me, then it covers anything I drive. It's feasible, it's constructive, it makes sense. They said there's no
menu for it or no. Do you remember what I told you the other? No? Okay. Anyway, there's no, I hate that one.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
there's
the
no-
question is, do you have insurance now?
I do not. And the reason that I
Well,
want to,
no, hang on. Is there any likelihood you're going to get insurance anytime soon?
if I can get insurance that covers me,
I
not
understand.
the vehicle.
I understand.
That's
but-
what I want.
Right, I understand. But what's the likelihood you're going to get that insurance anytime in the near future?
To be honest with you, if I can get the insurance I want, and this is one of the reasons I'm here, is that I'm hoping you can give me a court order saying that the insurance companies have to give me the insurance I need.
I can't do that.
Well, that's hopefully what I was hoping for.
Yeah, I
but-
can't, I don't have the authority to do that.
Well, does the law state that it has to be on the vehicle? Because the vehicle, the driver is always the one that gets the ticket, not the vehicle, so the insurance should be on the driver.
Well, that's something you'd have to address with your insurance carrier.
Yeah, they'd have to rewrite it because there's no, like that,
Okay.
criteria for that. They
Sure.
don't want to pay, they make more money by each vehicle.
I can appreciate that, but I can't do anything about that.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Well, it's okay. I wanted to come in to make sure that, that everybody knew. Yes, I do want to get insurance, but I need to get the insurance that I can work with.
Okay.
Because of all the different vehicles, I can't afford to be paying what they want. The problem is that even if you do start to get insurance, they make you high risk to begin with. I'm not going to pay the rite of passage because I've got a good driving record.
I
So-
understand, but I can't do anything about that.
That's okay.
Okay.
At least I'm making my point noted.
Sure.
Type thing.
The thing is, you can't drive unless you get insurance. If you get pulled over again and you don't have proof of insurance, you're going to be right back where you are right now.
That's why I'm here now, so that
Yeah.
we can try to get on the
I
right track.
can't do that for you.
Okay. Well, that's fine. At least I tried.
Right.
So.
Mr. O'Day, anything from the city?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. Okay,
Okay. Well, anyway,
good luck.
I might need it.
See if the state provides any service for insurance. I wasn't aware.
I'm not aware of anything like that.
Yeah. Well, there's got to be something available somewhere because.
Well, you might talk to someone at DMV. Maybe they've got an idea as to some resource out there that I'm unaware of, but
Well, we're going to try.
I don't believe I have the authority to order what you're asking.
Okay. Well, we got to start somewhere because it's constructive to have insurance, and
It
I want
is.
insurance, but
It's
I can't.
required, actually.
Yeah, but is it on the driver or is it on the vehicle? That's where I'm coming from.
Okay, yeah.
Something to think about.
Okay, good luck.
Okay. Well, thank you.
All
Thanks.
right, have a good evening.
Yeah, I thought it might take a while, but
No?
okay.
Okay.
We might see you soon. I hope not. But
I hope not too, not under these circumstances
Yeah,
anyway.
But I'm gonna keep trying.
Okay,
Yeah, I'll think of the word I wanted to use. There's no, whatever they call it. It'll come to me.
okay.
Sorry.
Night,
Bye-bye.
and Mr. Hammis.
I don't know if he's going to appear since he did make the $1,000 payment. I had said quote unquote,
When did he make
With
his
his
last
payment.
payment?
our current no appearance would be required. I believe it was November, and then his son died in December. And so
City versus Hammis.
his fourth payment, and that's the remaining balance, as you can
Mm-hmm.
see.
Mr. O'Day, I don't know if Mr. Brodkey explained this situation to you.
No, Your Honor.
Okay. Mr. Hammis has, over the last, at least 10 years,
Oh, yeah, well,
numerous violations of various sorts, working on a building without a zoning or building permit, improper storage of materials on his property, operating while suspended, etc. The total forfeitures that he owes going back all the way is $23,000. Last summer, I think it was, the city arrived at an agreement with Mr. Hammis whereby if he made a $1,000 payment per month, starting whatever month it was, I think,
October was the first payment.
yeah, maybe October, and paid off basically about 11,000 of what he owed, that assuming he did that, then the city would move to have judgments vacated and have all of the older citations dismissed, basically so that he can start with a clean slate and get a driver's license, because he's probably driving anyway. Well, he did make $4,000 payments. He still owes about $7,600. Over the winter, he had some personal issues that he was dealing with, the death of his son, associated funeral expenses, and I agreed to, as it were, suspend the payment schedule for a while, but he was supposed to be here tonight. Did we get him served with an...
No, I did not, because what
We
you
were
had
hoping that
said
he
is
would
that,
pay.
You know, if his account was current, no appearance would be
Right.
required. He thinks
So-
it is maybe current.
Well, in any event, he's not here. It's 2 minutes after 6. This matter was scheduled for 6 o'clock. I'll schedule it for June 2nd. What's our next date?
June 18th for adult court?
No, let's do it after the juveniles. Oh, wait, we may be moving that. Yeah, okay. June 18th, 6 o'clock, and let's try to get him served in person.
Okay.
And if he doesn't appear, we may be looking at contempt, because this has been several months now on matters that are several years old. Is that it for 6 o'clock?
Yes.
Anything further from the city?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, we are adjourned then.